Did anything change for you, Michael? We can see you.
You can now? What's going on?
Yeah, I can see your clock. I can see your mural.
Your
I can see your
artwork.
sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. Very happy. Oh, look, we've even got animals in the background. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, Michael. We're really, really grateful. And to be
Yeah.
honest, a little bit starstruck as well because you've done so much work in this area for so long.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, don't be. It's me. It really, Nimbin community is really, I've kind of become the spokesperson for the issue, but the whole community is pretty interesting in Nimbin and well drug educated and keen to see change.
Well, thanks for leading the charge and all your advocacy around that down there and
Sure.
community. Absolutely.
Sure.
yeah, we're really impressed and really grateful. So, just for people listening along to this, you are the president of Legalise Cannabis Party in Australia, which used to be known as the HEMP Party or Help End Marijuana Prohibition, and you're also the president of Embassy in Nimbin, which is, yeah, definitely one of the cannabis capitals of the world, if that's not too much of a toot.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah, so we've both come to this very separately on our own journeys, but obviously with like a lot of social stigma, a lot of curiosity, we've had the spiritual awakening side of things. And we really feel like we've formed a bit of a relationship with this plant where she wants to just change the relationship that people have with her, to really heal that, to understand her better, and to decide whether or not people want a relationship with marijuana or cannabis or how they see that relationship unfolding, in their own terms, based on their own journey and their own intuition. Do you mind if we ask you a little bit about what your
You,
journey has been like?
yeah, you go for it totally. Yep. I'm with you.
hmm So, so your journey with the plant, Michael, that started when you were in England, is that right?
Not quite, but sort of. So I didn't really discover cannabis till I'm 24 or 5, and I really didn't know anything about it. And in some ways, I think that was fortuitous. So, I was a country boy. I got sent away to boarding school, and that really stuffed me up. And I didn't know it at the time. You don't kind of know what you're not getting, if you know what I mean. I pulled down the shutters when I was 10 years old and couldn't feel as well as I should have. Didn't cry till I was in my 30s again. So I'm 25 and I got a job with a stockbroker after being restless, and they sent me to London. And there I was just helping Swiss banks get richer, really. So we bought an old police van and thought, I've got to find out if there's a God or not, basically. Is this just dog eat dog, or is there a God? What's going on here? So we drove overland. We turned right in Istanbul and travelled all through the Middle East, up through Iraq and into Iran and into Afghanistan. And I'd already been smoking, and so I knew how to smoke. And in the caravan park in Kandahar, this old Afghani guy put me on the end of his hookah with hash. I came out hallucinating. I had no idea what I was doing at the time. I thought, yeah, we'll have a smoke. Talk about being naive. Anyway, I loved it straight away, and it sort of opened me up. Basically, we were in an orange orchard and the whole thing turned liquid, fully hallucinating. It was pretty amazing, mind blowing experience, you would say. So that set me off on the path, and I haven't smoked the whole time since, but I've kept coming back to it. I used to get a lot of migraines. I used to get, depression, anxiety, but really I got migraines. And I never got them again once I discovered weed. That was the first thing I noticed. Fuck, I'm not getting any migraines. So
Yeah.
that was huge for me. And where's the line between medicinal and spiritual? It's interesting, you know. I even think the words good and God come from the same root, by gad. And, you know, it not only made me feel good, but sort of woke me up. And I think we often don't realize we get these moments of enlightenment, then you got to integrate them. Then you got to work out what you're doing with your life. And so it completely changed my life, really. And so my journey went on for a long time. And then I ended up wandering around for 10 years and didn't use cannabis all the time, but a lot of the time. Spent a long time in India. And I eventually came to Nimbin, and it was the junkies on the street selling weed who educated me about prohibition, really. Because I didn't know about it. I'd been away, I had been out of Australia, and then Bob Hopkins sort of got me reading a few books, and I started realizing that pain relief has got to be the best business on the planet. This is where there's huge money to be made. This is where corruption comes in. This is when once I realized how the drug war originated, it's all like a big scam over making money, it seems to me, really. Although at the time, I think there was quite a bit of religious fervor and racism and stuff that was causing, like, it's 100 years old, the war on cannabis, really, now. So the more I learned about it, the more I realized how unjust it all is. And then in Nimbin, you're like living in the middle of it. It's like an outdoor psych ward. There's all these people, you know. I once called it a refugee camp from the drug war, which it kind of is like, because people get accepted here, they're tolerated, you don't get judged, perhaps no matter what your drug use is. If you're not violent, you know, people aren't going to judge you. You're on the path, you're trying to work it out. So Nimbin's been a great teacher for me, and I've been here like 40 years now. But Nimbin woke me up to prohibition, and I really feel the same about other drugs. You know, all drug use is a health issue, I reckon, and should have
Absolutely.
nothing to do with a drug war. And
No, we're
yeah,
totally on the same page with you there. And it's interesting here. I feel like it's a bit of an epiphany where it's the war on drugs is really a war on spirituality in a way. And the emotional connectiveness and the way that you heal yourself through being okay in yourself, whether that's pain or whatever it is, comes through those plant medicines that can open up your open you up.
what do they open up?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I ended up on a mushroom trip in Bali, which fully opened me up, changed my life. So talking plant medicines, I mean, they can save the world, hopefully.
yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's so true. And we feel that. And
Well,
thanks.
we have to change consciousness to save the planet and save ourselves from each other. We keep fucking attacking each other, us humans. So, you know, there's got to be what's
Nobody
going to
attacks
wake
anyone
everybody
with
up.
marijuana, do they?
No, it's the drug against wars.
Yeah. And when you sit down with those medicines, like when you sit down with cannabis, sort of the message that comes through to you is more a moral message, isn't it? It's more it makes you reflect upon how you are in your relationship with everyone around you, with yourself. You know, it's not like alcohol or anything else where it's like shuts that down. It opens it up and it starts speaking to you in these ways. That's really conducive to better living. So I wonder, through your advocacy in the mainstream, is there much of a conversation around that, or is that just ignored as like woo woo and too far out, and no one wants?
You're talking spiritually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we tend to talk about it as medicine.
yeah,
But like I'm saying, there is this relationship there. Everyone's trying to feel good.
yeah,
And, you know, is it spiritual or medicinal? And now that science has taken over and God no longer exists, that, you know, you tend to talk in that medicinal language. I do. But for me, you know, the awareness of God changed my whole life. I'd been a total cynic for a long time. And you know, we all have a spiritual life, whether we're aware of it or not. So what you're saying is it kind of wakes you up to it. You're a spirit on a journey, and we're all in the mix together. And Yeah, you can see why back in Jesus' day, cannabis was totally a sacred plant, God's gift. John Jiggins reckons it was called God's gift back in those days, and thinking they're eating it, they're wearing it, and they're getting this insightful medicine with it as well. So
Mm.
it's extraordinary that it's been made illegal, and you can only realise the financial thing side of it is what's clouding everything.
Mm. You had this great line in one of your recent newsletters where you said perhaps the plant itself is like spreading awareness of how she wants to be communed with and consumed and engaged with. What do you think, if the plant herself has a consciousness or a goal in mind, like what is her consciousness? What does she want for us? What does she want for the planet? Like what are her aims as you understand them in your communion?
I think it's true that I think the plant as the plant gets used more and more, it is changing people. So the irony is I don't really like what's happened in Australia. It isn't it's come about not the way any of us expected, where the doctors now give you a prescription and the weed's imported from bloody Canada or South America or Thailand now, wherever. I mean, even though it might be second rate, it's doing the job for people. People are discovering this amazing plant, which is really a truth drug. I don't mind using that word. There's a truth, and the plants really open that doorway, open those doors of perception. So, yeah, if we give it a chance, it's going to do the job. And I think people are frightened of that. The government's frightened of it. The authorities are frightened of the change it does to people. I mean, I remember the member of parliament for Coffs Harbour years ago. They're talking about legalising cannabis, and he goes, "Well, you want everywhere to look like Nimbin?" And that was the end of the conversation. So, so people are frightened of the change it does, and that's like, what do you do? I mean, when I woke up, I didn't know what to do. I wasn't going to go back to being a stockbroker. What do I do now? We don't really die. Everyone's running around looking for money like a lunatic. And, I'm on some different path. What am I going to do? And I wandered around for 10 years not knowing what to do.
Wow.
So I think there is that difficult phase for people. And you can kind of see it in America now, where they've had legal weed for quite a long time,
Mm.
and people are waking up and changing. And how do we fit into this society, this materialistic society? Everyone's competing with each other. So
Yeah.
the transition is difficult, but I kind of trust nature. So I suppose, it's a messenger from nature, and nature's possibly the true teacher we've got. So I don't know specifically. I can't explain it for you other than, this is a true messenger from God, and it's a truth drug.
Wow. That's really
Mm.
well said. I can
You
feel
know the story of the
Yeah.
CIA? You know how the CIA experimented back in the 50s or 60s last century with using cannabis as a truth drug? You know that story?
yeah.
That's
Well,
a great story, and they had to give up because everyone got the giggles and the munchies.
I certainly feel like it's a bit of a truth drug with me. I always feel like confessing every little thing. The second I'm under the influence, I'm like, oh, and I did this and I did this, and it's all kind of playful and fun, and you just feel very open in your heart, don't you? If you're communing with it correctly, sorry. In the way that we commune with it, we like to think of cannabis as a heart opener.
Yeah,
If we ask for that, and we have a bit of ceremony every time we sit down and we say, may it be healing, may it bring love and lightness into the world, may it experience the best of being human through us, and may the rest just like pass on gracefully, I suppose. So that makes sense.
yeah, I think that's lovely. And, to do a ritual, to do it in a sacred way is obviously how we should be doing it rather than sort of. I mean, one of my biggest problems with prohibition was kids are introduced to it down a back lane in a state of fear,
Yeah.
mixed with fucking tobacco half
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
You know, the opposite to a respectful, sacred ritual. You know what I mean? So that's changing. That's a really important thing, because it is manure for your imagination, and it sets that off. And if you're in a frightened space, then you know you can have dramas. And there's no doubt some of the really strong legal weed now is giving some people some frightening moments. And you know, where so we got to put up with now that whole thing. Oh, it's causing psychosis, but no one's died, and from what I see, everyone recovers.
Yeah.
So
What is psychosis? That's the thing. It's like, you know, a lot of spiritual experience can be interpreted as psychosis in a way. It's just an opening up of a portal that they're not ready for and not ready to integrate into their lives. And it's hard to change a conversation around that to make people see that it's not just that they're losing their minds, it's that the system's messed up to begin with. And that's how they're struggling to put those two things into perspective.
yeah, I
Yeah,
like that.
integration.
Yeah, I like that. They've seen too much. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, you know, I didn't, when I woke up and started seeing what was going on around me, I was thinking, what do I do now?
Well, thanks for sharing that, because that's kind of the journey that I'm on at the moment. And it's like, yeah, just unplugged from the matrix basically and thinking, well, where do I head now? So it's interesting to
Yeah.
see someone that's so in their groove now share that bit of knowledge with me, or that experience.
Well, I'd come back to Australia and I didn't know what to do. I'd save a bit of money and go back to India,
Yeah.
because India had that spiritual awareness and acceptance and
Yeah.
tolerance, and everything was sacred. And you come back to Australia and you say, oh, I found God, and they laugh at you.
Yeah.
And you go to India and say there's no God, and they laugh at you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's another
Exactly.
world, you know.
Well said.
So India changed me quite a lot.
Mm.
And then I came back to Australia and I didn't know what to do. So I came to Nimbin.
Yeah.
Mm.
And there's a lot of people around here see it the same. And it was like, let's get back to the country, let's start a garden, let's, share rather than compete with each other. So I bought a share on a hippie commune, and the idealism's all there, but it's difficult to live in this society where, you're locked up if you've got no money out there.
We're trying to live in parallel, right? So we need something huge to happen to break down the rest of society, or else just forge our own little places where we can, like Nimbin, I guess.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, we're talking big questions now. I think, there's a change of consciousness happening.
Yeah, me
But,
too.
so many people are living in the city. They lose touch with nature,
Mm-hmm.
God,
Yeah.
the whole thing. And how we're going to find our way back, I don't know. We're in for a hard time, I think. I mean, it seems we don't learn without suffering. So, people are sick everywhere, but they're eating shit food. I mean,
Yeah.
we know it's shit food.
Yeah.
But people keep eating it, So how does the change happen? It's coming. I think, interestingly, I mean, I'm not that good on the computer, but I've just discovered ChatGPT. So basically, if you can't read or write, you can ask a question and get every answer you want. So the spread of knowledge is phenomenal. I'm kind of optimistic about all that. I think it's all good. I think, and that what was hard to find and you'd read thousands of books for is at your fingertips now.
We're quite tickled because you're mentioning all the things we're super excited about or concerned about or passionate about. So we're just like, yeah, you're saying all the things. So
yeah, good.
we're a bit tickled here. But one of the things we've been struggling with a little bit around what this plan has been teaching us is actually walking the talk and living more slowly. And like not feeling like a jerk or a piece of shit because you moved slowly today, because we worked part-time and at home, because we went at our own pace and we felt into what feels right today, and then kind of at the end of the day being like, did we do enough today? That rat race capitalist mentality comes back, and we're trying to say no, like this is what the new earth. Yeah, it's a conscious choice. This is what the new earth looks like. This is what Indigenous communities practice. They understood the medicine and the the healing lifestyle that it is to just move slowly to not get sick in the first place. But we still get that ego mind, you know, coming in and saying, go faster, go faster. And the plant's been helping us with that intermittently, but it's still a little bit of a struggle sometimes.
Yeah, look, I think it's a lifetime journey, knowing yourself better and better, knowing who you are, where we are, what's going on. And there's a lot of stuff to unravel that we've been lied to about, really. You know, let's talk spirituality. I am so down on the church. I'm so deeper and deeper realize, no, I don't think they knew what they're doing. I'm a big believer in forgive them, they know not what they do, but
Yeah.
maybe not always with the church, you know. It's been a way of having power over people, making them feel the whole guilt thing. You have to work out, you know, what exactly are you guilty of and who's the judge?
Yeah.
And we're doing it to ourselves, you know. So there's a lot to work out and process. And you know, I had a guy who helped me a lot by making me see it as a little boy in myself. You know, it's a hurt child inside us, and the child's looking for love outside all the time, and you've got to be the one. You know, really, only you can come to peace with yourself. So the journey is ever onwards and inwards. I reckon a lot, and the older I get, the more it is inwards. You know, it's all your relationship with yourself will be reflected everywhere. So yeah, we live in an amazing time.
Yeah.
Extraordinary change. You know, just extraordinary change happening so fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting, that's for sure.
And if you don't trust the change, then you're in trouble. And people aren't trusting it. I see. You know, quick. How do we keep control? What the fuck can we control? You know, your own little life, not much more.
That's right.
Good point. Yeah, it's about, you know, suffering comes from resistance, right? Not
Yeah,
embracing the change and going with the
yeah,
flow.
yeah, and pick up the broken glass in your own street. You know, we just got to be here and now and one day at a time and trust yourself and the whole show, I think.
Mm. Thank you for all that hope and that wisdom. I really hope this resonates with some other people listening, because I feel like I've had a bit of a therapy lesson talking to you so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there's critical things to work out. I mean, what happens when we die? Everyone's worried about dying. The whole world is obsessed with stopping people dying, you know? They keep you alive as long as they can, and maybe they got it all wrong. Maybe we don't really die, and round we go, and we've been here forever, which I think is probably what's going on. So we just got it wrong. So you have to trust yourself.
Yep.
That's such a good point to end this on.
Yeah. Just I just wanted to highlight what a beautiful sentiment that is, and just say, yeah, obviously, if more people have the opportunity to engage with, you know, cannabis or, you know, hash or however they come to it to, in a spirit of sacredness and of trust in change and being able to see themselves as opened up or the whole world as opened up, and just understand that that's a good thing, and it's how things naturally are in the universe anyway, open, connected.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you're right, we are going to start seeing this revolution of consciousness happening on a much
It is happening.
gentler level as well.
Yeah, it's happening. It's the drug against wars, cannabis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
And
thinking that again. I love that.
yeah, I honestly like it's God's gift all over the place, and see it how you like. I mean, it's got so many amazing. What a plant!
Oh, it's beautiful.
Super fast growing,
Yeah.
takes toxins out of the soil, highly nutritious seeds, strongest fiber. I mean, it is an amazing plant.
Stunning plant.
And you know, the problem with microplastics. You know, we've just got to get back to nature, really.
Yep. Absolutely. And I loved your points. I was reading about some of the stuff you've said about the importance of growing your own plant too.
Yeah, huge. I actually think huge. When they let us grow a few plants, then then we're back with your relationship with nature again.
Yeah.
There's your little temple. There's your sacred plant, And even if you've just got a balcony in the city, grow a couple of plants. Fantastic, I reckon.
Mm.
And people have got a living thing and experience, their own personal experience. That will make a big change.
Yeah, and that's like one revolution, a joint at a time, right? It's not we don't
Yeah,
need World War III, we don't need a second COVID. Just like let everybody quietly wake up in their own safe space.
we wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep
We
moving.
wish. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, it's not going to happen as easy as that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real shame there's still so many vested interests in, and keep fighting the good fight. And yeah, a shame that even has to be a fight. It's so ridiculous. But
We'll get there. I mean, I'm a great believer that ignorance will just destroy itself in the end. The truth will come through, and people will realize what a mistake. In 50 years, we're going to be so embarrassed by the drug war.
absolutely.
Hopefully, we're still here, eh? We'll
Yeah,
be here.
exactly. Yeah, we'll be.
Michael, we're pretty happy to keep this kind of short and sweet today because we feel like you've just brought out so much wisdom and so many beautiful like one-liners that have just resonated. I'm
Good on you.
really happy for those just kind of sit and like digest with people. But is there anything else you'd like to share? Anything that a call to action? Anything you'd like people to mainly take away from this chat?
No, I think it's good. Join the political party if you want to. Legalise cannabis on the .org.au. I think on the website is good. But how do you help? You spread the word, talk to people, and yeah, I encourage people to get the legal medical weed. And I think you've got a difficulty in Queensland. I think we're going to get a driving change in New South Wales,
Yeah,
like they've got a little bit of a change in Victoria. But your premier hasn't. He needs a joint.
absolutely. Yeah,
Can we send him one in the mail?
No,
What's
no.
the no return address?
But
yeah,
I do think talking to your local member of parliament is a very cool thing to do. You can make an appointment with your state or federal member and go with a couple of you and talk to them about, hey, look, cannabis has helped me so much. It would make a big difference to me if I could grow my own instead of having to buy it from Canada. And we need to be able to drive, and driving is a big call, really, you know. I don't think I ever knew that would come about, but it's a very nasty trick they've done. We're the only country on the planet testing as ruthlessly as this, you know.
Wow.
So that needs to change. It will change.
Yeah, in the meantime, we're very happy on our bikes
Yeah.
and
Good on you.
everybody get a bike and then we'll change the law around driving while we're at it.
I'm impressed. Good on you. Yeah, you've got to live your truth and keep it simple. I think that's right. And and the other thing I think I realized is when you're on that spiritual path, the magic, you see the magic.
yep,
If you're trying to organize your whole life and not be surrendered, it's hard work.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. It is hard work to surrender
Yeah.
and do nothing. You need to kind of yeah,
Hard to do nothing.
very hard.
Yeah.
Beautiful, but
Yeah.
it takes a lot of retraining, doesn't it?
Yeah. I reckon, Buddha's great secret was to want nothing, no
Mm,
suffering. It all comes from desire. He's dead right.
mm.
Wanting more than you've got in the moment. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're spoiled to death in Australia. We really are. We've got
Yeah.
so much, so blessed, which I think means we should be, to whom much is given, much is expected. I don't know who said that, but I always thought it was true. That's from living in India for a long time. You come back here, we've got so much.
Yeah, it's easy to have gratitude in every moment, isn't it? There's just that
Yeah.
be so
And
much.
I wish we could be more of an example of what we could do with a new consciousness,
Yep.
looking after the environment, looking after each other. Anyway, science is getting there in a way, working out what we kind of all know.
I love that. Let us please be an example of what to do with this new consciousness.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Michael. We are really, really chuffed to have been able to talk to you. Thank you for making the time. And I really hope we get to meet in person really soon.
Come to Mardi Gras. Have you been to Mardi Gras?
I haven't.
First weekend in May. It's a good weekend.
Okay, cool. That's my birthday. I'll have to come along for my birthday next year.
When's your birthday?
7th of May,
Good on
93.
you.
So a year after it started.
NimbenMardiGras.com. Check it out.
Okay, I'll see you there.
Good
Thanks,
on you,
Michael.
Joe. Thanks very much.
Yeah, mate.
Thanks
Pleasure.
so
Good
much. Have a
talk.
beautiful day.
Cheers.